Today we're talking about twists and turns. While pre-writing is the most creative part of writing, twists and turns are the most creative part of pre-writing. You see, adding twists and turns to your stories isn't just fun for the reader, it's also fun for the writer. Each year when I visit schools, I meet kids who are excited to tell me about their stories, or they hand me stories they have created. Sadly, many of these stories involve one or two characters, usually the author and a character named after the author's best friend. Occasionally an animal has a large role in the story too. The story is usually just a retelling of events, usually along the lines of what happened over the weekend or what happened in school that day. A good story involves a plot with a problem, and a great story includes twists and turns, things the reader doesn't expect to happen. When I wrote the story Chumpkin, I had a co-author, another person write the story with me. That person was my mom. But since Chumpkin is a picture book, there is actually another person who helped us tell the story. That's the very talented illustrator, Emma Overman. Together with our words and her pictures, we told the tale of Chumpkin. Now, Chumpkin is the story of a giant pumpkin, a pumpkin so enormous he believes no one will ever pick him. If that was how I ended the story, it would not only be extremely depressing, it would be boring. Readers would be disappointed and say the three things you don't want them to say. So what? Who cares? Big deal. If it was about a pumpkin who worried he wouldn't be picked and he wasn't picked, readers would wonder why they spent their time reading it in the first place. I've invited Nicky, Fifth, Wanda, and T-Bone to read the story aloud so you can see how important twists and turns are to your writing.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Nicky.
Patrick.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
Great, Wanda. Hi, T-Bone.
Hi, Mrs. A.
Well, it's good to see all of you today. I'm glad you could join me, and I'm hoping that you guys could read Chumpkin so kids could see twists and turns in action.
That sounds like a great idea, Mrs. A.
T-Bone. I'm pretty sure she wants us to read it out loud.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay, let's go on 3. 1, 2...
I don't think she wants us to read it together.
That's an awesome idea. We shouldn't read it together. It's a rhyming story, like a long poem, and that's like a song. If we're going to do it together, we should definitely sing it.
Or, and I'm just throwing this out there, maybe you could take turns reading the story out loud.
I guess that's one way to go. Yeah, that could work.
Here we go. Chumpkin. All around the pumpkin patch, they heard the farmer say, "The kids are here, the kids are here, it's time for pumpkin day." Excited little pumpkins were standing straight and tall, that is except for Chumpkin, the roundest one of all.
Pumpkins may be orange, but Chumpkin, he felt blue. And how he wished that he could shrink, but every day he grew. Now rumbling up the driveway and stopping at the gate were giant yellow buses filled with kids who couldn't wait. Jumping from the buses, the sounds of little feet, running to the pumpkin patch to find an orange treat.
A day of pumpkin picking in the cool October air, Chumpkin dreamt of being chosen, but pretended not to care. "I know they'll never pick me," he mumbled with a sigh, "unless they plan to use me in a giant pumpkin pie. For no one wants a pumpkin that grows bigger every day. What will the other pumpkins think? What will the others say? I wish these kids would just go home," Chumpkin raved and ranted. "I think it would be better if I never had been planted. This poor little, giant pumpkin. This is terrible."
If only they would put me on a fat-free pumpkin diet. I'd finally hear those magic words, "Hey mister, can I buy it?" One by one they're bringing home my little pumpkin friends, but no one even looks my way. Could this be how it ends?
I'll be the only pumpkin in a patch of wild weeds. Maybe then they'll want me when they need some pumpkin seeds. But pumpkin day was over, and soon it would be night.
This is awful. Everyone is ignoring him. They're not even getting to know him. Who wrote this?
Actually, I wrote it. Maybe we should just keep reading.
Hold on, Mrs. A. I need a minute. As squealing little children left, with everything in sight, except for poor old Chumpkin, who was doing less than fine. The last one in the pumpkin patch, the last one on the vine. Then suddenly, some footsteps, and Chumpkin heard, "Surprise!" as the farmer told his little son to open up his eyes. And when he opened up his eyes, he started hugging Chumpkin. "Daddy, can I have him? Can I have the biggest pumpkin?" Of course you can, the farmer said. I've saved him just for you. We'll make a jack-o'-lantern. You can help me carve him, too. But I would never carve a pumpkin with a face as nice as his. I think my pumpkin's perfect, Daddy, just the way he is. Thank goodness. I was ready to start searching pumpkin patches for this pumpkin. And why would the farmer want to carve him? Why?
Because you carve pumpkins for Halloween.
Not me. Never again.
So, let's talk about the twists and turns. The whole story is setting the stage using a strong character like Chumpkin. The readers get inside Chumpkin's mind and heart to know what he's thinking and feeling, which is why T-Bone became so attached. Now, I mentioned that the illustrator plays a big role in a picture book by helping to tell the story. If you look at this page, you'll see a clue, not in the words, but in the picture. There it is, right there, a sign that reads, "Not for sale." That's right, but even more important than what the sign says is where the sign is. It's behind Chumpkin, and he doesn't see it. In fact, he's the only one who doesn't see it.
So the whole time Chumpkin thinks he's awful and too big to be picked. The real reason people are ignoring him is because they see the sign that he's not for sale.
Exactly.
That's right, so everyone is ignoring him, and he's the only one who doesn't know why. That also raises another question. Why is the sign behind Chumpkin?
Obviously, if the farmer is saving him, it means he's not the worst pumpkin. He's the best pumpkin.
Why didn't the farmer put the sign where Chumpkin could see it? We could have avoided all this pain if Chumpkin had seen the sign.
Can Chumpkin read?
I think you're missing the point. If Chumpkin knew he was being saved, there wouldn't be a story.
Exactly, Wanda.
Jessica.
If Chumpkin knew he would be picked, this would not be a story. It would be about a pumpkin who wants to get picked and he gets picked. So what? Who cares? Big deal. So the major twist is that Chumpkin is depressed because he thinks being different makes him awful. And then at the end, he realizes he must be pretty amazing if the farmer saved him for his own son.
You said major twist? Is there more?
Actually, yes. You see, as the boy is hugging Chumpkin, his father suggests carving him into a jack-o'-lantern. You can see Chumpkin, who was happy a moment ago, is now terrified. But the second twist occurs when the boy says, "I would never carve a pumpkin with a face as nice as his." If you can create parts in your story where the reader expects something usual to happen and add something clever, you will have mastered twists and turns.
Remember, creating clever twists and turns is as easy as building a suitcase out of popsicle sticks.
Why would anyone build a suitcase out of popsicle sticks?
I don't know why, but my uncle does it all the time.
So, from Nicky Fifth, T-Bone, Wanda, and myself, we'd like to thank you for joining us today and wish you happy writing.